The afternoon will reach a high of 54 degrees. Winds out of the northeast, 8 to 16 miles an hour. And let's go to the extended forecast. We're looking for a pretty nice week. The one problem area may be Tuesday. I don't have it up there, but we have a high in the mid-60s. We have a possibility of getting some rain showers in the morning on Tuesday. The sky should clear up by the afternoon. And that's the way it looks for the week, Mary.
It looks great, Sam. I love this warm weather.
I like this warm weather, too. I just assume not have to buy any winter gloves. I haven't bought any yet.
Well, you got to start. It's going to be cold soon enough.
Oh, well, I'm just going to cross my fingers.
Okay, well, stay tuned for the replay of the Permian game tonight. And as we close tonight, we want to leave you with a look and a listen to the 6th annual Midland Christmas Handbell Festivals. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Minicam 7 Sports presents Class 5A Area High School Football. From the Sun Bowl in El Paso, a videotape replay of Odessa Permian versus El Paso Austin. A production of News Center 7 Sports, the leader in high school football coverage since 1965, setting the example for others to follow. Now, here are Bob Cyphers and Kurt Kaiser.
From El Paso, Texas, in the Sun Bowl, welcome to area playoff football action, the Permian Panthers against the El Paso Austin Panthers. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Cyphers, alongside my color partner, Kurt Kaiser. For the Permian Panthers, it is step number 2 on the road to what they hope will be another Class 5A football championship. Kurt, the electricity in the air tonight, Permian and El Paso.
Bob, round 2 has been very, very kind to the Permian Panthers. Of course, we've got a rematch tonight of last year's game, in which the Panthers embarrassed Austin 56-0, and then the other 2 times right before that, they defeated Eastwood 48-0, Irvin 47-0. So round 3 against El Paso Schools has been very good for the Panthers as they get ready to burst through that banner, and El Paso knows that the Panthers are hungry for victory tonight.
Hey, El Paso, we are hungry, and here comes Mojo. In El Paso, it is a bit chilly. It always is this time of year. A nice Permian crowd has gathered on the near sidelines wearing black across the way. The folks from Austin are scattered about, and we are set for Class 5A playoff football action, Permian against Austin. As mentioned earlier by Kurt, Permian has had the El Paso Schools number in the last few years in these playoff games. The whopping scores 46, 48, 56-0 the last 3 years, but even more so than that, Kurt, it has been a long time since El Paso has beaten Permian. In fact, an El Paso school has never beaten Permian in 26 tries. There was one tie. Other than that, Permian has rolled every single time these teams have hooked up.
And John Wilkins knows that as he's prepared his team for this game here tonight, as you see him getting them ready on the sidelines now. But that's the kind of thing, Bob, as you look back at the history of Permian going up against El Paso schools, it's almost frightening because the domination has been so complete that you wonder, just how the players react to something like that. You mentioned never losing in 26 tries with just the one tie. Permian has shut out 6 of the last 7 El Paso opponents. It's been a long time since an El Paso team has even scored against Permian. And that's the kind of thing when you worry about overconfidence. So we'll see in the early going just how the Panthers have reacted to the past record as they get ready for this game tonight.
Permian plays for a berth, as you see the Mojo fans in front of us, for a spot in next week's regional against the winner of Denton or Grand Prairie. If Permian wins tonight, if they win tonight, they will play that game next week on Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock sharp in Odessa at Ratliff Stadium. The home field edge looms important, but first things first is business tonight. The Panthers wear visiting white on your screens. They will return the kick. Permian wins the toss, and Austin will boot it away, and we are set for football. Kicking for El Paso is Avila. His kick is low and taken by an up man for Permian. And a very short return is Mark Sider. He is down right at about the 30-yard line. First man on the stop is Dan Salas for El Paso, and Permian puts the football in play right there.
So Mark Sider, not a long return there, but still getting the field position at the 30 as he took that swivel kick right along the ground, picked it up, and still a return of about 8 or 9 yards as Mark is brought down there as he gets it to the 30-yard line and not very much farther. El Paso fans on the far side, they have Austin pride with the big signs on the far side. They're ready for this game tonight.
We'll set the offensive starters after this play. First down, 10 Permian. Out of the familiar wing tee. Lauderback in motion. Pitch back, Patrick Wilson. Wilson is in trouble. He has 1 yard. Penalty flag is down. This may be a face mask call against El Paso. First man on the stop for the El Paso Panthers was Frank Velez. Patrick Wilson, of course, starting for the injured Woody Bryant. The penalty flag is against El Paso. So Permian will gain some yards via the flag they did not have on the play. The officials walk it off. A 5-yard call, looks like a face mask. Here's the Permian starting lineup. The quarterback, Jason Harrington, the fullback, Marcus Slot. The tailback is Patrick Wilson. There's the call, face mask, 5-yard walk-off. It is now first down 5. The split end is Greg Anderson, the flanker, Brian Lauderback. Nolan Watson is the tight end. The offensive linemen, the tackles, Greg DeMarco, Mike Yandrich. The guards are Scott Russell and Steve Hill. The center is Roy Wooten. It is first down 5, 11:37 left to play first quarter. We're just on our way. El Paso almost jumped. With the football, this is Sider. Mark is across the 40-yard line. Penalty flag is down. Did El Paso jump or were they drawn? As we await the call, and it looks to be against El Paso again. Let's check the defense as we see El Paso almost jump. Sider with the carry. Austin's defense, the defensive ends are Eddie Robledo and Carl Gray. The nose guard is John Ingram. The tackles are Dan Salas and Julio Galindo. The penalty flag offsides against El Paso declined. Permian first down. The linebackers, as El Paso plays a 5-2, are John Clark and Luis Dominguez. The corners are Leonard McNamee and Derek Jones. The safeties, Stephen Lee, who is the great halfback on offense, and Frank Velez. First down 10 Permian on their own 43. Lauderback in motion. The Panthers run the football. Across the 35 is Marcus Lott. Across midfield. Down near the 45. The gain is more than 10. That should be another Permian first down. And early on, the Panthers are very effective on the ground. Kurt?
And we talk about the importance of the early momentum for a team. And here you see Marcus. Big block to provide him the passage outside. Cuts back inside right there to get upfield and get into Panther territory. Now, you'll hear us talking about the Panthers all night long because we've got both teams being the Panthers into El Paso territory as Permian has that football at the 46.
Nice block on that play by Patrick Wilson. First down 10 Permian on the move. Harrington up the middle. Marcus Lott. Make it Sider. Sider is inside the 45, down at about the 44. The gain is short, about 3 yards. Brings up second down 7. 10:30 left to play first quarter. No score from the Sun Bowl in El Paso.
Sider, of course, shuttling those plays in and out with Marcus Lott, so he takes a breather now to the sidelines. We really didn't see Sider carry the ball a lot last week against Valaduro, but the first 3 times here, actually he's carried 2 of the first 3 times they've kept it on the ground.
Second down, make it a long 6. Lauderback in motion near side. Handoff. First man is Patrick Wilson. Nope, Marcus Lott. Lott's gain is a couple of yards. Permian, though, will be faced with their first big third down of the night. Third down, about 4, and the ball is resting right smack on the El Paso 40-yard line.
Now, one of the question marks for El Paso the last few weeks has been their defense. They have not really been playing up to their potential, according to their coach, and they've got a big test here tonight against Mojo.
Big play, Permian, third down, about 4. Pitch back, here comes Mark Sider. Sider breaks 2 tackles, fumbles the football, but out of bounds. Permian will retain control, and the Panthers have a first down.
Boy, nice run by Mark Sider there as he got outside, broke through the tacklers. We'll watch it again now as he'll get the handoff. And just a good power run this time by Mark Sider. The early block to provide him that outside passage. And there he just does it on his own that time as he breaks through the tackle, gains an extra 4 yards, fumbles it, but as you can see, it goes out of bounds. So the Panthers of Permian retain possession.
The lead blocker on the play, Jason Harrington. First down, 10 Permian, just outside the El Paso 30. Up the middle, Permian. Marcus Lott has some room. He is inside the 30, down at about the 29. The gain will be about 4, make it 5. Now they still walk off yardage, make it 6 or 7, down near the 25.
Boy, Permian just mixing it up well here in the early going, Bob. They go to the right side. Now they go right up the middle. They've tried the left side. Still, they've kept it on the ground the entire way. So we may look for them to put it in the air here as they have established that running game with success. We'll watch as they get it into good territory.
Kurt Kaiser called it. Harrington play action, goes deep, has a man. Greg Anderson, first down Permian, inside the 20. It's a penetration, and the Panthers are on the move.
Now, Greg Anderson, the man, Bob, that burned El Paso last year, so they'll keep an eye on him definitely. As Harrington goes out and fires that ball, Anderson has to go high in the air to leap and make a nice catch. Last year they went man-to-man on Anderson. Did not work. They've tried something new, and we'll see if they can.
First down, 10 Permian. This will be the 9th play of the drive. Permian has used up almost 4 minutes on the clock. Up the middle, handoff. I believe it was Marcus Lott. It is, and the gain is about 4 yards. Brings up second down 6. Kurt, I found it interesting on the big third down play for Permian. About third down and 4, the Panthers ran the ball. They obviously feel very confident that even on third down in what is reasonably long territory, they kept the ball on the ground. They're winning up the middle in the trenches.
Yeah, last week we felt they would go to the pass more. Tonight it looks like they're going to establish the run just a little bit more and use the passing sparingly.
Second down, about 6. Permian runs with the football wide. Patrick Wilson. Patrick is down near the 10-yard line, but shy of the first down. And again, the Panthers will have a big third down play. This will be about third down and 4.
Now, Patrick could see here, there's the one nice block to get him going outside, but he could see that he could not make it to the sidelines. Tries to make the cut up to the middle of the field, but kind of lost his footing and went down as there was 3 defenders there for El Paso there to keep him inside, and he went down with a very short gain.
Third down for Permian. Big play right here. Anderson is split wide left. Pitch back. Marcus Lott is shy of the first down by about a couple. Permian will have an interesting decision here. Put points on the board with the field goal or go. They are in 4-down territory, but it will be 4th and a good couple of yards.
They're not making the long gains that we have seen sometimes this year, Bob, but they're still grinding out 3 and 4 yards per carry. It's been a long drive. It started at the 31-yard line, and now Permian has called a timeout to decide just exactly what they will do.
The Panthers will take timeout. 6 minutes, 48 seconds left to play in the first quarter at the Sun Bowl. Our score, the Permian Panthers nothing, the El Paso Austin Panthers nothing. This is a Minicam 7 Sports Special.
Penny Bierman, one of Channel 7's on-air directors, is working on the sidelines for tonight's game. It's people like Penny who keep us looking good, West Texas.
I've just received the new credit card, Dad. Look.
Don't you have enough credit cards already?
That's a new combo card from Gulf.
During December, all Gulf credit card holders will get a new card with the Gulf disc in one corner and the Chevron hallmark in the other. Regular Chevron cards will be accepted at Gulf stations.
And this one's good at both Gulf and Chevron stations.
Good. Why don't I take that one and I'll give you my Chevron card?
Why?
Because I'm E.E. Hensley and your son.
E.E. Hensley and Son, Gulf and Chevron distributors for the Permian Basin.
When oil wells erupt in fires of awesome scope, only Red Adair can meet the challenge. In this hostile world, his expertise is unmatched. From North Africa to the Rockies, it takes timing under pressure to tame these blowouts. Red's timepiece, Rolex day date.
Rolex from Sam L. Majors, fine jewelers for 4 generations in Midland and Odessa.
A salesman?
Conquistador.
Is that a round corn chip?
Round and filled.
Filled with what?
Nacho, picante, jalapeno, or mild cheese flavor. Have some.
Cornquistos, the first snack with yummy fillings in a crunchy shell of stone ground corn.
Crunchy outside, yummy inside. Here on business?
We're here to claim the Americas for Cornquistos.
Cornquistos filled snack. One crunch, and you're conquered.
When you see this blue and silver Ellithorpe well control coil tubing unit rolling down the highway to your location, it's hard to tell if it's our brand new coil tubing unit or the one that has been serving you faithfully for over 2 years now.
That's right, Mandy. I'm Mike Ellithorpe, and you can count on me and my dedicated and experienced crew to roll out first-class equipment and a first-class crew to perform your coil tubing and nitrogen needs. That's Ellithorpe Well Control, doubling and redoubling our efforts to serve you better.
Permian has elected, it appears, to go for the field goal and the 3 points. Ali Sedan, who booted 3 of 4 extra points in his debut last week up at Texas Tech, will try a field goal that will be spotted at the 15, add 10 for the end zone, 25. And Permian going into a bit of a breeze. Sedan, of course, is kicking for the injured Woody Bryant. 4th down 2. This was the first big decision for John Wilkins tonight. Snap back, place down, kick is low and no good. So El Paso has held. Permian took the football, ran some 5-6 minutes off the clock, but the Panthers come up empty. They do have 1 penetration, but no points on the scoreboard.
I'm not sure if anyone got a hand on that or not, Bob. It looked like the kick may have just been low, and they missed the field goal with somebody perhaps getting a hand to block it. We're not quite sure from our vantage point, but nonetheless, a big momentum builder for El Paso.
Keep your eyes on Stephen Lee. This is the first play, and the fullback, Gray, is smacked for a loss of a couple. Stephen Lee is the man to watch right now. He is number 25 for El Paso Austin. He is the leading rusher in the state in Class 5A, over 2,000 yards. He is averaging some 200 yards per game. In one game earlier this year, he ran for 419 yards, the all-time schoolboy record in Texas in Class 5A. Number 25. And here he comes. That's still the fullback, Gray. Lee has not touched the ball on the first 2 plays. Gray has. He's gained a couple there. It will bring up 3rd down and about 5. Very quickly, the El Paso Austin offense, the quarterback is Mike Beltran. Fullback, Carl Gray. Tailback, Stephen Lee. That's the man to watch. The flanker, Herb Anderson. The split end, Gus Haynes. The tight end, Frank Velez. The offensive tackles, Santon Bertanius and John Ingram. The guards, John Clark and Eddie Robledo. The center is Dan Salas. It is 3rd down and 5. And here comes Stephen Lee. Breaks 1, breaks 2, dives across the 30, and it looks like he has enough on 1st down. That was an interesting call. El Paso faced with 3rd down 5. They went with their bread and butter, and he came through.
Yeah, the thing you have to be wary of when you face a runner like Stephen Lee is you can't key on him too much because they could break the other man free as they used Carl Gray the first 2 plays. But then they do get Stephen Lee when they need that tough yardage. He did the job for him with the 1st down. And right now El Paso likes the way things are going here in the early going.
We will set the Permian defense after this play. No score, 5:15 left to play first quarter from the Sun Bowl. Out of the wing tee. Here comes the reverse, and Permian answers this one immediately. The running back for Austin on the play was the wingback Mike Galvedon. Luis Salcedo, Danny Cervantes were both there. Galvedon did gain a couple. It's 2nd down 8. Here's the Panther defense as you watch the play. Watch the nice reverse and watch the Permian hit. Permian's defense, the ends are Troy Baker, Jerry LeClaire. The tackles, Jesse Spruill, Luis Salcedo. The middle linebackers, Danny Cervantes. Outside linebackers, Mark Gladson, Kenny Harrison. The corners are Billy Jones and Robert Williams. The safety, Darren Allman. The rover is Blake Batt. It is 2nd down 8. Quarterback is back to throw, has a receiver, nice catch, and then the big hit immediately by Billy Jones.
El Paso not a passing team. They have about a 40% completion rate coming in. They do complete this one here, as you can see, but as soon as he catches it, hit very hard by the Permian defense to make sure he doesn't go any farther. 4:08 left in the first quarter of play. No score yet in the ballgame.
Big play here for the Panther defense. It is 3rd down and along 6. They run Stephen Lee, and not this time. Permian gang tackles right at the line of scrimmage. Luis Salcedo was there. Baker was there. Also there was Jesse Spruill. The Panthers have held on their first defensive possession.
And here you see the defense really doing their job. They were in that backfield ready to get at Lee just about the same time that he got the football. So the Panthers have held for the first time, and they have forced El Paso to punt it out of there.
The kicker for Austin is Armando Avila. He stands at his own 21, and Greg Anderson is deep. Good snap, and Anderson has some room. Watch him go. 40, 45, and across the 50. Anderson returns the kick almost 15 yards. The Panthers have excellent field position and a 1st down 10 inside El Paso territory.
Bob, it's mind-boggling how when you have Greg Anderson lining up back there to receive a punt, how they always seem to kick it to him, and you would think just the opposite. Keep it away from Greg Anderson, line drive right to him, and Greg makes a nice return with a lot of traffic around him. You see him get that football and then take it up across the 40, trip down as he gets over the midfield stripe, and Greg Anderson, one of the premier men that can really break that long run. You would think they'd kick it away from him, but they don't the first time out.
Greg is split wide left. He is being guarded by Stephen Lee, the all-star for El Paso. Harrington is back to throw, looks for Anderson. Greg makes a nice leaping catch and is in trouble right there. 3 El Paso players will gang tackle, led by Stephen Lee. The gain is very short, about 3 yards, bringing up 2nd down 7. Under 3 minutes left to play first quarter, no score. So Kurt, El Paso must be happy at this point. They've played the Panthers almost through 1 quarter, dodged 1 bullet. They've not made a mistake yet, and it's still scoreless.
They really have to be, but we looked at the last part of the ballgame. It's really one of the keys because El Paso has a lot of players going both ways here tonight.
Harrington will throw again. Jason has time, has a receiver. Anderson made a great diving try, could not hang on at about the 35. So the Panthers this time come out throwing. Their first possession, they came out running the ball consistently, and now Permian is faced with 3rd down 7.
Now that time he had Greg Anderson cutting up between the 2 zones of coverage. As he kind of split them, they've had 2 men on him tonight. The other 2 times they've thrown the ball his way, 2 men right with him. He had to go high in the air to catch it. That time he got behind the initial zone and then beat the last man, but couldn't quite come up with a diving catch to bring it in.
Brian Lauterbach has single coverage on the top side of your screen. Harrington looks for the running back, Marcus Lott. The pass is incomplete. It was Patrick Wilson. Well, we'll see. Patrick wears 35. Marcus wears 36. And I believe that is a 35. It was Patrick. So Permian's drive stops after 3 plays. The Panthers have the edge in field position, but they will have to punt the ball away. That means Steve Hill, who is averaging just about 39 yards per kick this year, will boot it away from his own 43-yard line. Good snap. And Hill kicks it toward the far sidelines. It gets a Panther roll and goes out of bounds inside the 15 at about the 13-yard line. And that is where El Paso Austin will put it in play. No score from the Sun Bowl. 2 minutes, 18 seconds left to play in the first quarter.
That punt of 33 yards that time, getting the roll and going out of bounds at the 13. And not the domination that we expected, Bob. We talked in the early part just about how successful Permian has done against El Paso schools. You expect him up here, and when you look back to past history, just run all over him. But El Paso Austin really doing a good job here in the first quarter.
The wingback goes in motion, sets up on the top side. On first down, Stephen Lee, the little back in the middle, has a nice hole, a gain of about 4, brings up second down 6. Danny Servance was there. Also there on the stop for Permian was linebacker Mark Gladson. We are now under 2 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Permian hoping for a berth in next week's regional against either Denton or Grand Prairie. And if the Panthers win, they will play at Ratliff Stadium next Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock. Stephen Lee again. Nice move inside. 3 Permian Panthers gang tackle, but still Lee has about 4 yards and will be very close to a first down. He hasn't. There's no question, Kurt, that Permian knows exactly what's coming here tonight. El Paso is about as one-dimensional of a team as Permian has probably played all year. When you've got the leading back in the state, when he can gain 400 yards in one night, 200 yards consistently, he's got to get the football, and he will tonight.
Yeah, there's no real surprises. He made some nice moves that time, and that time the line of El Paso did what Permian does so well, just block out those men in front. Very good fundamental football, fundamental blocking.
First down 10, Stephen Lee again, not this time. Not this time at all. 3 Panthers there. Servance was there, also there for Permian, Jesse Spruill and Mark Salcedo.
You talk about that one dimension. It doesn't take the Panthers long to figure out how to stop 2 or 3 dimensions, so they only have the one to concentrate on. Really, the job for El Paso tonight is get the advantage early on. If they don't get an advantage early, I really can't see how they could have a chance later on, because Permian finds a way to get at you late in the ball game.
As you look at Salcedo there, he made the big play last week against Paladero, a big stop on 3rd down 1. It looked like El Paso moved before the snap. Lee does not gain much. If this play counts, they may have blown the whistle before the snap. Permian will probably decline the penalty and force El Paso into 3rd down 9 instead of 2nd down 14. Do the Panthers have the option, or was the whistle blown before the snap?
That play still showed us something, Bob, as they try to get Lee outside. And Lee does not have the outstanding speed. He's got good speed for a running back, but just not exceptional speed. And they're trying to turn the corner, was not able to do so, as you see the penalty decline. So Lee is not the outside threat. He may be a quick threat up the middle, but on that occasion at least, he was not able to turn the corner.
Just 42 seconds left to play, first quarter, and the clock is winding. And now El Paso is faced with a definite passing situation for the first time. 3rd down 9 on their own 25. 2 receivers, 1 wide on each side. They hand off to Stephen Lee. Loose football, Permian. The Panthers have the football. First man there, gobbling it up, was Jerry LeClaire. You know, I just about mentioned before that play, Permian is averaging almost 4 takeaways per game, and El Paso almost 4 turnovers per game, and that's a big story.
And there you can see the ball kind of stripped away from him as he was going down, losing control. He tried to switch the ball, I think, over to the left side as he was going down, not able to do so. Last week we saw how Permian wins football games as they took advantage of the turnover, trying to do it right now, late in the first quarter.
Permian came out passing on their last possession, all 3 plays. They ran the ball consistently their first possession. They run the ball right here. This is Marcus Lott. Marcus has a nice hole. He is inside the 35. The gain will be about 4, and that will do it for the first quarter. No score after 1. A bit of a surprise considering Permian was a big favorite, but make no mistake, the Panthers have had control of this football game and will be on the move once we start the second quarter. After the first quarter from the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas, it's the Permian Panthers nothing, the El Paso Austin Panthers nothing. This is a Minicam 7 Sports Special.
Mike Ruth is production manager at Channel 7. He's directing tonight's game for News Center 7 Sports. It's people like Mike who keep us looking good, West Texas.
That outfit looks great.
Thanks, I just washed it.
You've been cheated.
Cheated?
By your detergent. Touch it. Did it soften?
No.
Or control static cling?
What detergent can?
Bold 3 Detergent Plus Fabric Softener has a cupful of detergent, a capful of fabric softener combined in each wash.
Bold 3 really cleans, but my regular detergent can't touch Bold softness. Even static is under control.
Bold 3 for cleaning with fabric softening no regular detergent can touch.
Past the old El Paso, taste the old Southwest. Past the old El Paso, taste our very best.
Taste the great Southwest in Old El Paso thick and chunky salsa. It's really chunky, with 5 chopped tomatoes in every jar, plus chunks of chilies, jalapenos, and onions. It's all natural, no preservatives. So taste the great Southwest.
Past the old El Paso.
Everyone is talking about the all-new Big Tex furniture in Odessa. Big Tex is everything you ever wanted in a furniture store and more. And you'll notice the friendly hometown atmosphere right away. Big Tex is home-owned and operated by some fine West Texas folks, and they'll treat you right every time. If you like quality beauty and a huge selection of bargains, head for the all-new Big Tex furniture, 615 East 8th in Odessa.
Congratulations, Ann. How does it feel to be one of the first women to get there?
Fantastic.
We're really proud of you. You made them see you could take the pressure and responsibility and do the job.
All I needed was a chance to show them what I could do.
Well, you have a right to be proud. Now the real challenge begins.
How's that?
Frequent or heavy drinking can sneak up on you, become a regular part of your life. Professionals and executives face a lot of pressure to drink to get relief. It could happen to you, too.
No, thanks.
Earlier tonight, Panthers coming out to take on El Paso Austin in round 2 of the state football playoffs after 1 quarter, Kurt. It's 0-0. Your thoughts?
Well, it is a little bit of a surprise, Bob, because we did expect Permian to come here and really have no problems, but it just shows you why we play these football games. You know, Harris rated the Panthers of Permian a 21-point favorite, which is just about as high as you can rate them without going off the board on it. And we expected, looking at past history, that they wouldn't have any problems today. But you really have to salute El Paso Austin for the way that they've hung in there in the early going. But still, we've got 3 more quarters to go. Permian still, even though there's no points on the board, have done things pretty much as they would like. And we'll see now if they can capitalize on that fumble recovery by Jerry Leclerc just a few moments ago.
Panthers on the move. And despite the no-score first quarter, I think it was still a very good quarter for Permian. They played pretty well. Handoff up the middle. Marcus Lott, make it Patrick Wilson. We'll see. Is it 35 or 36? 36. It is Marcus Lott. And he has a first down. Permian on the move inside the 30-yard line.
Boy, you can see Marcus here just fighting for every single yard he can get. Stood up right there, but he keeps the legs moving, going ahead, falling ahead for about 2 more yards. And those are little things that are so very important just to get every single yard you can.
First down, 10 Permian. Just outside the 25, play action. Jason Harrington is looking. He's going toward the end zone. It's incomplete. Penalty flag down. Brian Lauterbach, the intended receiver. The defensive back was Frank Velez. We'll watch it on the replay, and you can call it at home, but bet you're sweet you know what. It's going against El Paso.
Let's watch Velez. I don't think he really makes any attempts at the ball, and is just instead trying to get in the way of Brian Lauterbach, and that will be the call. Well, he had his eyes up there. Maybe that wasn't a call, but just right in front of him.
The call is face guarding, hands up above, just trying to block the view of Lauterbach. So they will walk off the penalty from the line of scrimmage. Permian will not receive the football at the end zone, but still it'll be a first down and 10 for Permian now inside the 15-yard line as the officials talk it over.
Now it looks like the Permian has gone back to their original plan here of running that ball, using the pass a little more sparingly. That second drive, they went to the pass right from the start and did not move the football. So there they mark it off inside the 20, inside the 15, down to the 11-yard line.
Well, the El Paso fans do not like the call, but there was no question on our replay that the defensive back had his arms straight up in the air, simply face guarding against Ryan Lauterbach, who I don't think really could have caught the ball. It was not right in his vicinity, but the call was made correctly, and Permian now knocks on the door just outside the El Paso 11-yard line. 11:30 left to play, first half, no score. Permian runs the football. Marcus Lott down at about the 5-yard line. Boy, it's really tough separating Lott from Wilson. I believe that, well, they were both there. One's 35, one's 36. At home, you can see them just fine. From the roof of the Sun Bowl, it's a bit more tricky.
Boy, Lott's making some nice moves. You can just see him reading that defensive coverage in front of him as he kind of dives in and out of the plays, and some strong running by Marcus Lott tonight.
Permian now goes into their goal line, full house backfield. Lauterbach stays in tight, pitch back. Here comes Patrick Wilson. See ya.
And that definitely is Patrick Wilson taking it on into the end zone. And Permian has the early advantage in this ball game tonight. As you see Patrick get the pitch out, the blocking forms in front of him. The nice block gives him that big hole, takes it on into the end zone without any problems. Permian has taken advantage of that fumble recovery and taken it in for 6.
For the second time tonight, a key block was thrown by quarterback Jason Harrington. L.A. Sidan will attempt the extra point. Snap back, place down, kick up, long, high, and good. 10 minutes, 59 seconds left to play. Second quarter at the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. And now the Panthers have taken charge after the turnover. Our score, Permian's Panthers 7, the Panthers of El Paso, Austin nothing. This is a Minicam 7 Sports Special.
Al Harris, Channel 7's chief engineer, is handling our engineering on tonight's game for News Center 7 Sports, setting the pace for others to follow.
This is what looking for lean, meaty bacon used to look like. Now, it could look like this. I got it! It's because new Oscar Mayer center cut bacon is leaner. Verified 25% leaner than regular bacon. So all you really have to look for is new center cut.
I got it.
And then
You got it.
you can stop looking, because what you'll see is really lean, meaty bacon.
I got it.
See how easy it is. New Oscar Mayer center cut bacon, so lean you could buy it with your eyes closed.
Turner Auto Supply is the auto parts store for your complete auto needs. And to back up the promise of the best parts for less, Turner Auto has a new 4-year limited warranty on new and remanufactured parts. These fit most American cars, light trucks, and vans, including new disc pads, alternators, starters, and new fuel pumps. Should any of those parts prove defective, return with proof of purchase for replacement or full refund of purchase price. Turner Auto, 3936 West County Road, Highway 80 East at Coors Road, Odessa, 1303 South Main in Andrews.
If you can get a better warranty, get it.
All across the Permian Basin, rolling prairie and quiet towns. Toward the spirit of Texas, oil-rich black gold country, under the fiery Texas sky. Welcome home, Texas, to a land that's yours.
So Patrick Wilson takes the touchdown in after Jerry LeClaire recovered the fumble at the 37-yard line. And that scoring drive, 37 yards. It took them 4 plays, just 1:19 off the clock, and Wilson with that run following the fumble recovery. As Lee fumbled it, Jerry LeClaire fell on it, and the Panthers have taken advantage of a mistake by El Paso to take it on into the end zone.
When El Paso gets the football back, keep your eyes on Stephen Lee. He's already carried the football 7 times and picked up 25 yards, but his biggest carry has been 7 yards. John Wilkins talked about containment. It was not a matter of would he gain 100 yards. Big deal. He may carry the ball 40 times. Could Permian stop the big run? On the kickoff, this is Gray. He has some room. He is up across the 30-yard line, and a very nice tackle was made by Permian's Steve Hill. Well, he kicks her off and also comes down and makes the stop.
If not for Steve Hill, he had that lane open up right in front of him there. And you'll watch the excellent individual effort here by Steve Hill. Gets the football at the 10-yard line. Doesn't look like anything's going to develop yet, but he has that wall in front of him. Takes his time. There's the big hole up the middle. There's Steve Hill to grab him around the ankles and bring him down across the 30-yard line.
First down 10. The fullback, Gray, has a couple of hard-earned yards up the middle. There are very few holes in the middle of that Permian defense. Kenny Harrison there. Also there for the Panthers is Jesse Spruill. The gain is, make it 4 yards. Brings up second down 6 with 10:30 left to play first half. 7-0 Permian. Patrick Wilson took it in. It is very important, of course, that El Paso stays consistent once in a while up the middle to spring some holes for Mr. Lee on the outside. They must keep Permian's defense honest. Here is Lee, and nothing. No gain. Well, that is the 4th time now that Lee has carried for a gain of 1 yard or less. And again, El Paso is faced with what might be a passing situation, but now twice on 3rd down long, they've simply run the ball with Lee.
It has to be something that Lee's not used to, Bob, going in there and not getting that yardage. He's had such a good average all year, but at the same time, another thing he's not used to is going up against a defense like Permian.
3rd down 5. Will it be Mr. Lee? Yes, he will throw. Make it Gray on the halfback pass, and it was almost intercepted. Gray was trying to hit his wide receiver, Alonzo Haynes. Permian had a couple of defensive backs there. The Panthers were not fooled. They have held again, and Greg Anderson drops back to receive the punt.
Yeah, that's the big key. You know, a lot of times a play like this, a little razzle-dazzle, something a little different will fool teams. Not Permian. They've got 2 men back there. In fact, Robert Williams almost intercepted that ball. Went high in the air, felt he should have had it. Would have been a great play, but still, the defense does hold and has forced El Paso to punt once again.
Robert is a good athlete. He has 6 interceptions this year, can also play offense at wide receiver. Avila will punt, and he kicks this one away from Greg Anderson. I say good move. Permian will take the football on their own 34-yard line. Panthers have had decent, if not very good field position throughout the first half of this game, leading by a score of 7-0. They will take over. That punt was only 29 yards, but there was a 0 return. A lot of teams, Kurt, play Permian, punt the football 40 yards, but it may be returned 70 or 80 yards.
That's right. You've got to figure your odds are pretty good if you can get no return out of it, even though the punt just goes to 29 yards. That has to be a good move. It's like walking George Brett. You do that quite often. In this case, you kick it away from Greg Anderson.
I sure would. First down 10, Harrington, pitch back. Here comes Permian. Patrick Wilson running hard. Patrick is across the 40-yard line. The gain will be about 7. Brings up second down. We'll call it 3. 9:15 left to play in the first quarter. Looks like Patrick has had a good first quarter, good first half tonight, running hard, especially to the right side.
You know, this is one of the first times where Patrick's really had a little field in front of him and can get those legs churning. As you see him getting it across the 40-yard line there, finally brought down, but a nice run by Patrick, a gain of 8 yards, bringing up 2nd and 2.
Permian is dangerous in second down short. They hand off Mark Sider. Big hole. He's across the 50, 45, and down to the 40-yard line of El Paso. The gain is 17 yards. Permian has another first down in El Paso territory again.
Now, so far tonight, for El Paso, we've seen just the 2 men out of the backfield. Permian has really spread the running around. Mark Sider, the big hole, cuts up right side and takes it into El Paso territory, brought down from behind at the 40-yard line. The Permian Panthers on the move one more time.
First down 10, just outside the 40. From the wing tee, Marcus Lott was tripped up right at the line of scrimmage. First man on the stop for El Paso was Leonard McNamee. Very short gain, if any at all. We'll call it none for Permian. Brings up second down 10 as we near the 8-minute mark left to play in the first quarter.
Coming into this ball game, Bob, El Paso Austin's head coach Carlos Lowenberg saluted Permian, saying that he felt they had the best high school program not only in the state of Texas but in the entire United States. And he has said his players are ready to play Mojo tonight.
I said left in the first quarter, 8 minutes left in the first half. This is Patrick Wilson. He might go 30, 20, inside the 10. Patrick Wilson is knocked out of bounds at the 3-yard line. The gain will be 37 yards. He's had a big first half tonight.
We said earlier, Patrick getting the first chance to get it in the open field. Well, that time, a little bit more of the open field as Patrick gets that football. Some nice blocking gives him the initial hole. That nice move around the defender gives him more running room. And there you see just a sprint to the end zone. And the El Paso player just finally getting there to push him out of the end zone. That was Stephen Lee that made that defensive play to save the 6 points for a while.
Patrick Wilson checks out. Rich Fletcher is in. This is Mark Sider, 6. Mark Sider goes in from 3 yards out. It was a close game when this quarter started. Right now it is 13-0, pending the extra point.
Well, that didn't take long for Permian. Didn't take long for Sider to carry the final short yardage right into the end zone. As that drive started for Permian with 9:27 to go, just a short time elapsed off the clock as they took it on in.
Ali Sedan, second attempt at the extra point is perfect. And it looks like Permian is off to a flying start tonight. They have their eyes on a match next Saturday afternoon at Ratliff Stadium against either Denton or Grand Prairie if they can take care of business tonight. Kurt had mentioned the last 5 games that Permian has played against El Paso teams. As you watch Sider take it in. Nice block by Rich Fletcher. Good to see him playing. The last 5 games Permian has played against El Paso teams, they have won by scores of 26-0, 39-0. This is the 7th flag over Texas. 56-0, 28-0, and 62-0. A combined score, Kurt, it hurts too much to look.
211 to nada. And I don't think that that's the kind of statistic that the El Paso teams are too excited to look at. They probably don't go over that in their practices each evening as they prepared for this game. But it would just be, it seems, a moral victory for an El Paso team to score against Permian. And in the second quarter, the Permian Panthers are certainly starting to pull away now with that 14-0 cushion.
El Paso coach Carlos Lowenberg felt the key to this game was El Paso getting off to a very good start in the first half. The kick is taken deep by Gray. He had a nice return last time and does it again this time, up near the 35-yard line.
That last scoring drive for Permian, it took them 5 plays to go 66 yards, and it only took 1 minute and 47 seconds to do it. Of course, Sider with the 3-yard run to take it on into the end zone. The big play was that Wilson 37-yard run, taking it down to the 3-yard line. As we see that return again now from El Paso. But we do have a penalty on the play. Looks like a clip will be called against El Paso, and that will all be coming back. So we see the nice gain, but it does not stand as they come back to the 13-yard line. And what did we talk about last week, Bob? Is the difference in the ball game? Mistakes and penalties and turnovers, everything else going against, at that time, Paladuro. We're seeing it again tonight. The mistakes in this first half of play have cost El Paso as they had the early momentum from some good defensive play, but now starting to lose it just a little bit on the scoreboard and on the field.
El Paso has 1 turnover, Permian none. The Panthers scored afterwards. El Paso has 5 penalties, Permian none. On first down 10 on their own 12-yard line. Up the middle, Gray, no, loose ball, Permian. Football recovered by the Panthers. It was Mark Gladson. The officials are now on the field. The ball may have been blown dead. There is an injured El Paso player.
Well, I don't see how the ball was blown dead if it was. They have not made any indication saying that Permian has the football, as I guess they're saying his forward progress was stopped and they blew the ball dead, but he was definitely not on the ground yet when he had fumbled the ball. They said the ground caused that fumble.
Sure like to see that replay if we've got that in the truck as they look at the injured player for El Paso. And we do have the replay. Permian has run off 24 plays, El Paso just 15. Is this ball dead? Well, they had him in the grass, but I've seen whistles last a lot longer than that. John Wilkins went on the field, talked with the official, shook his head yes, so apparently he feels like the official made, if not the right call, a fair call, and the El Paso player is still down.
Yeah, that is a judgment call, and the officials feeling like the play was definitely stopped right there. Tonight we enjoy Permian football, and tomorrow we enjoy NFL football with the top teams in the NFL right here on Channel 7 tomorrow at noon, when the Atlanta Falcons, are they one of the top teams? They journey to Chicago. They're the top team to take on the only undefeated team in the NFL, with that, of course, being the Chicago Bears. And then you'll see the Philadelphia Eagles at Texas Stadium to play our Dallas Cowboys. Watch the best in National Football League action right here on Channel 7 KOSA TV.
I don't think the Atlanta Falcons and half the Russian army could beat the Bears. The Dallas Cowboys and half the Russian army, I don't know if they could beat the Bears again.
I don't really think that was the Dallas Cowboys that played the Bears last week. We're not sure who that was, but we've got imposters out there in Cowboy uniforms.
Let's talk about something else, like 2nd down 9. Pitch back Keithley, tries the right side. Not a gain of maybe 1. 3 Panthers were right there. First man on the stop for Permian was Kevin Wilson. Kevin getting some action at the linebacker spot tonight. He's had a tough year with injuries also. Many of these Permian players have been juggled in and out of the lineup with major injuries this year. Maybe John Wilkins' best coaching job ever at Permian, but boy, what is that saying? The man has lost 13 games in 13 or 14 years. Every year is a big job, but I know he's especially proud of this one. Here comes the reverse. The wingback coming right into your living room is Herb Anderson, and all 3 Panthers were there. Servance was there. Williams was there. Greg Anderson in on defense. They'll lose a couple of yards on that. They'll punt the ball from deep in their own territory, and Permian will have position again.
Boy, he ran a long way to get no gain and even lose a yard here. As you see them stringing it out, the Panther defense just waited and waited and stayed back until they could get around the defense, and did it so very well to stop the gain. And in fact, well, they say no gain at all, so it'll be 4th and 7.
5:45 left first half, 14-0 Permian. Greg Anderson stands dangerously at midfield. Penalty flag is down. I believe one of the El Paso players left early. Anderson calls for the fair catch on his own 45-yard line. The penalty is against El Paso Austin, illegal procedure before the snap. It will be their 6th penalty of the night. None yet on Permian. The Panthers may decline this call because they have good field position, but I'd like to see Mr. Anderson take a shot at the return. Nope, Coach Wilkins will play it safe. Why not? Take the football. Panthers will have it on their own 45-yard, on the El Paso 45-yard line. 1st down 10 right there.
Yeah, Greg Anderson knew that call as soon as he caught it. He makes a fair catch at the 45-yard line, indicates it's against El Paso, which it was. So Greg doing a little bit of officiating, and you can do that. If you're right about the play, which he was on that occasion, then Permian does have the ball in El Paso territory. They've had the field position. They've taken advantage of the mistakes. They've done everything that good football teams need to do to win, and right now trying to get 7 more on the board.
1st down 10 from the wing tee. Lauterbach is tight right. Marcus Slot up the middle, down at about the 41. The gain will be 4. It will bring up 2nd down 6 as the clock winds down toward the 5-minute mark. 5:30 left to play. Marcus will check out. Mark Sider will check in. Near the half now, Kurt, Stephen Lee has less than 30 yards rushing on almost 10 carries. A long way from his 200-yard average so far tonight.
Yeah, I think it's really got to be frustrating for someone like Stephen Lee, who has had the success running all year long. And you mentioned that big ball game of 419 yards. Well, that's a season for some running backs. But he did that all in one game. Tonight, he's really been held in check very well by the Panther defense. And that was the big job that they had in front of them. Stop Stephen Lee. They've done that so far. Marcus Lott, as we look at his season totals, coming into the ball game tonight, Marcus had 943 yards for the season. So a little quick math will tell you that 57 more yards, and Marcus goes over that magical 1,000-yard barrier, and he has 46 so far. Total offense tonight so far has the Permian Panthers with 128 yards, and El Paso with just 43, and many of those 43 yards in the first offensive series for the Panthers from El Paso. So since that first series, since the first quarter, it has really been all Permian, as they have controlled the line of scrimmage and taken control of the football game.
And keep in mind, Permian marched the length of the field in their first possession and came up empty on a missed field goal attempt at about the 15-yard line on 4th down, too. So it has been an entire Permian domination tonight. El Paso has really made no signs of showing a consistent drive down the field. They always have the dangerous weapon of perhaps breaking Lee loose on one. But Permian has contained that, and now the Panthers, after calling timeout, will line up on 2nd down and 6. Austin in the 5-man front with the nose guard right over the center. Here comes the reverse for Greg Anderson. 45-40, 35-30, 25, and down just outside the 20. A penalty flag is thrown. There may be a late hit on El Paso. Anderson turned what looked like nothing into a gain of 20 yards.
Bob, it's just beautiful to watch him go one-on-one. As you see Greg Anderson getting the football here, has to get outside the one man, which he does with ease, and now he has one man to beat. Watch the move he makes on it. He gets a clip at his heels, but that's it, as Greg takes it down near the 20, about the 22-yard line. So it looks like this clip will go against Permian as they march the football back just a little bit. They'll put it at the 27 or 26-yard line.
It looked like they caught Brian Lauterbach with a small semi-clip right as Anderson was being knocked out of bounds. Brian was a few yards in front of him.
Permian really mixing up the plays well from the backfield, Bob. We saw it go to Anderson that time. Sider so far has carried 3 times for 32 yards and the 1 touchdown. Lott 10 times for 46 yards, and Wilson 6 times for 58 yards and a touchdown for Marcus Lott as well. So really giving everyone a chance to carry the ball, and they've done it well.
Now the officials pick up the flag and say no call. Permian has the ball on the 26. And running wide is Mark Sider. Sider is inside the 20, inside the 15, down near the 10. Another Permian first down. All 3 running backs, Lott, Wilson, and Sider. Big holes tonight with that offensive line. All 3 running strong. 4:45 left first half. It is 14-0 Permian, and knocking again.
Boy, Mark Sider really has done a good job. Look at that gang blocking there, keeping him out of the way of Mark Sider as he just picks his way through it. Just a little traffic play there as he makes another nice gain.
Super block by Scott Russell. He's still blocking his man. Harrington is in trouble, loses the football when El Paso has it.
Something we don't see very often. For the first time tonight, Permian with a turnover as they were driving, looking to go up 21-0. But that time, the big play by the El Paso defense, as Jason had to pump fake, bring it back down, hit, loses control of the football, could not get over there to pick it up, and El Paso has stopped Mojo.
Harrington was looking for Anderson on that quick opener, was not there. When he brought the ball back, could not survive the hit. Permian turns it over. Austin has the ball on their own 20-yard line. They try the quick opener, and the pass is complete. Nice play. Gain of about 13, 14 yards. Tackle for Permian by Mark Gladson. The pass was completed to Herb Anderson. Biggest play of the night thus far for El Paso. The gain is 13. They now face not just the Permian defense, but also the clock, which winds down at 4 minutes, 15 seconds left in the first half. Backs in a deuce. They run Stephen Lee right side. He's got a couple, but again, not much. Gain of 3 brings up 2nd down 7. Now less than 4 minutes left in the half. Permian will try and dig in here and take that 2-touchdown cushion into the locker room, which really could have been 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's very important for Permian to stop El Paso right now, Bob, and keep them off that scoreboard and go in with even if the 14-0 lead. They've still got the shutout. They've got things going their way. And El Paso trying, of course, to stop that and get some momentum going before halftime. We'll see what happens.
2nd down 7. One man in motion. Stephen Lee. Just a couple. He's across the 40. Another gain of 3. His biggest gain tonight has been 7. He is in the neighborhood of 35 yards for the first half, and he's carried about a dozen times. So he's averaging only about 3 yards a carry. And when El Paso snaps the ball again on this big 3rd down 3, there will be less than 3 minutes left to play. Lee officially 10 carries, 32 yards in the first half, average of 3.2 yards per carry. 3rd down 3. Stephen Lee, the right side. No. The gain is 2. It looks like Permian has held. El Paso will have to punt the football again, unless they really roll the dice on 4th down 1. They will call timeout and talk it over. Well, Mr. Kaiser, if you are coaching on the far sidelines in the footsteps of Carlos Lowenberg, what do you do?
Well, there's 2 ways to look at it. That's a political answer, but you can say, well, we're only 14 points down. Let's go ahead and punt it, play it safe, or gamble just a little bit. Depends if you're a gambling man or not, I guess. And if you want to try to come up with a football, El Paso definitely the big underdog here. I'd go for it. I like to see an offensive coach, and I think that El Paso, by calling that timeout, they're at least considering going for it. I like to see him try it at least right here, and also give the Panthers a chance for a big play on defense. We see the band getting ready, Bob. We'll be watching the Mojo Marching Band at halftime and enjoying their show once again.
It's a tough call. I would agree with Kurt. I would go. If you punt the ball away, the best you can hope for is going into the locker room down 14-0 at halftime, and there's not much in that except moral victories. If you go and miss, it allows Permian the chance to score, but you're in trouble at half anyway if you don't go. I think I'd go, but I'm not sure what Coach Lowenberg will do.
Well, I think by calling a timeout, he's going. You don't call many timeouts to set up your punting team, and let's see what happens, though.
They will go. Keep your eye on number 25, Stephen Lee. He is the leading rusher in the state. Here he comes. Oh, Permian made a hit, and Lee might bust one. He is tackled inside the 40-yard line. The man on the stop for Permian was Troy Baker, chased it down. That is always the big danger, Kurt, on short yardage. You break the line and you can go.
That's a gutsy call. You watch Lee just break that first tackle right at the line of scrimmage. Then he makes a nice move, finally brought down from behind, or he could have gone all the way as he goes inside the 40. It was a big call, and they made it work for him.
Looked like Coach Lowenberg listened to what you and I had to say, knew that both of us were highly intelligent in the coaching industry.
Yeah, we've sure picked them this year, haven't we? There's no doubt about that.
Danny Servance, a little knocked up, but he looks to be okay. We'll come out for this play anyway. So with 2:32 left to play in the half, El Paso Austin has some life. And hey, don't forget the marching Panthers at intermission. First down 10, El Paso inside the Permian 40-yard line. How big of a play will that 4th down 1 be before this half or this game is over? It may have brought life back into El Paso. Stephen Lee tries the right side. Again, Permian contains, allows the gain of about 4. It will bring up 2nd down 6, but now Austin is fighting the clock. They have 2 timeouts left. To use the first to discuss that play on 4th down 1, but when they snap the ball again, less than 2 minutes will remain in the half.
But now Lee is starting to find a little bit of the room that he could not find at all early on. Remember, this drive started back at the 20-yard line, so El Paso has moved it on down the field now at Permian's 35.
2nd down 6. The quick pass is there, but dropped. Again, that quick pass to split end Herb Anderson has been there now twice. Once it worked for 13, this time the pass was dropped.
They're just not going to have many chances like that, Bob. That pass should have been caught. As you see, it really opened up here on the run. The pass was right there in his hands, but could not make connections on it. But you do not have many chances against Permian to catch them in that defensive coverage where you allow that man that extra bit of running room.
1:45 left to play in the half. It is 14-0 Permian. Now El Paso looks to be totally confused on offense. They finally line up. Here comes Stephen Lee. Again, he will gain about 3 yards. Looks to be shy of a first down. And again, 4th down and very short is coming up. And the clock winds down under 1:30. Well, if you're going to go on 4th and 1 back at midfield, I'm sure you're going to go on 4th and 1 at the 30-yard line. And they will. And guess who will probably touch the football? Permian knows it. And here he comes. He's got the first down. Nice tackle by Greg Anderson. who was in on defense in the 4th and 1, but Lee has the first down. But now El Paso must beat the clock and not just the Panther defense.
Here you see Lee going outside, feet cut out from under him by Anderson right as he gets across that marker. So they strung it out. All they needed was a 1 yard, strung it outside successfully. But still that clock's against them now. 1:09 left in the first half, and they need to start gaining more than 2 and 3 yards per carry.
That was a fine flying tackle by Anderson. They will throw. Permian rushes. Sack. The man there for the Panthers was Jesse Spruill.
Boy, Jesse made a big hit, pushing him back to the 35-yard line. El Paso will call timeout now to stop that clock with 50 seconds left. As you see the quarterback in trouble, there's Jesse Spruill to take him on down, and a big play by the Panther defense.
So 50 seconds remain in the half, and now El Paso is faced with second down and about 17. What do you do at 6:30 on Monday night?
Always in front of the television watching MASH. And MASH is back right here on Channel 7, KOSA TV. Permian Basin viewers continue to enjoy this classic series featuring the dedicated men and women of the 4077 Mobile Army Surgical Hospital. And you can join the special group of people who managed to turn to humor as relief from the frontline operating room. Catch the spirit of the Permian Basin with MASH, Monday through Friday, 6:30, right here on Channel 7, KOSA TV.
You've got your eyes on hot lips.
Well, it's a family show. That's what I like. Started, let's get back to football, okay?
Got it.
This drive started on the 20-yard line for El Paso. They've moved it on down the field, but they really got to watch that clock right now, Bob. And that sack, a very big play. Stops the clock with 50 seconds to go, but it does push them back now. An 8-yard loss on that sack. So it's 2nd and 18, and they've got their work cut out for them.
Panther defense has played oh so well this year. 2nd down long. The quarterback, Beltran, is back to throw. He's in trouble, and yeah, they could have called that in the grass. Boy, the pass is complete. I believe the wide receiver again, Herb Anderson. It is, and the play will stand. I was waiting for the whistle to blow, and I still wonder why it did not.
In the NFL, that would have been in the grass. Well, I don't think they blow it quite as fast in high school football, which seems backwards. But here you see the quarterback sprinting for his life, still looking for his receiver, and gets it away at the last second. Boy, he was on his way down when he got rid of that football. And it works for El Paso. 34 seconds left on the clock. They stop it again with the timeout, and they'll see what they can pull out of the hat this time. Well, this has been a drive which looks like it could have stopped a couple of times with 2 4th and 1 plays where they've worked it successfully. And then right there, it looked like they almost had him at the 50-yard line, which would have in effect stopped the drive. But coming up with it the last second, if they would not score on this drive, boy, it'd have to be a down El Paso team that heads into the locker room.
A couple of Permian defensive coaches were saying, hey, to the referees, but it looked like the right call on the replay, and we have the edge up here. I think you've got to let the quarterback throw the ball if he's scrambling out there and his arm is cocked, even if he's going to take the hit. And he took it, and he got the ball loose. So El Paso was faced with 3rd down about 9 on the Panther 27. They have taken another timeout. And by my calculations, they now have no timeouts left.
Remember, they're not a passing team, so it's unusual they've had to rely on a pass here to stop that clock and get some big yardage.
3rd down long. Beltran will throw again. Has a receiver, and the pass is incomplete. Greg Anderson was there, but the receiver was there and had the ball and could not hang on. The receiver was Frank Velez, and I was very impressed with the routes the receivers are running, and the quarterback got the ball right there. Kurt?
Yeah, but Greg Anderson just timed this hit perfectly. You see the ball by Velez. It went off his fingertips, and Anderson there just to make sure he did not catch it on the rebound and could not bring it in. Good play by Permian, but for a team that does not pass, really the routes and the passes are there, Bob. You're right.
This is it for Austin. It is 4th down with less than 30 seconds left. Beltran will throw. The pass is incomplete, and El Paso wants a flag, and there is none. And the fans on the far side boo.
Well, I think if they're booing, Bob, they have to be booing because their player tripped. I really didn't see any contact there. But, of course, El Paso fans watching it with their hearts and not their eyes. Let's see if we can watch it with our eyes right now. There's the pass. We see the player going down, and I believe he still just tripped over his own feet.
So Permian will run the clock out as John Wilkins sends in Jason Harrington with the last play of the first half, probably. Just 23 seconds left. Permian has the ball on their own 26. And don't forget, at halftime, the Marching Panthers plus the big second half, Permian looks for a spot in round 3 of the playoffs. The fans are still booing across the way. Permian runs the football. Brian Lauterbach, his first carry from the wingback spot, will gain about 4, and that will probably do it. I don't think the Panthers will stop the clock. El Paso has no reason to. Less than 10 seconds, so that ticks her down. The first half is history. It's all Permian. It is 14-0. The Panthers have had a couple of other chances. They will not get this play off. A couple of other chances. Permian fumbled once at about the 15-yard line and missed a field goal at also about the 15. It could have been worse, but Permian still dominates. It is 14-0. Don't forget, Marching Panthers, then the second half. Get a soft drink and a sandwich, cover up, and keep her right here. We're going to take a timeout, come right back. Our score from the Sun Bowl at halftime is Permian 14, El Paso, Austin nothing. This is a Minicam 7 Sports Special.
see the new credit card, Dad. Look.
Don't you have enough credit cards already?
That's a new combo card from Gulf.
During December, all Gulf credit cards.
Through the second quarter, and that put the Panthers up by a score of 14-0. That's where we stand right now. Kirk Kaiser, Permian is 24 minutes away from a trip to Ratliff Stadium next Saturday in the regionals if our Friday night heroes can hang in there tonight.
Yeah, things are really going pretty well for them right now, Bob. A 14-0 lead, which is probably not as much as we might have expected at this stage, but still, the game well in hand for Coach John Wilkins as he prepares his team to come back out for the final 24 minutes. The two scoring drives for Permian, we saw Mark Sider taking it in right there. The two scoring drives have been very, very short time-wise, as that second one, when Sider capped it off, took just a minute 47 to take it 66 yards. The first one, a minute 19 to go 37 yards, as Permian capitalized on a fumble recovery at the 37-yard line. So they have taken advantage of mistakes. They have defensively kept El Paso off the scoreboard. That long drive by El Paso the last time out, where they had two big fourth down plays, which they ran successfully for first down, but they did not get the big fourth down play where they went for it on 4th and 8 and could not make connections. So it's been a good game for Permian. The 14-0 lead, and they're hoping to continue this 1985 season. You know, it's scary to think that one loss and it's all over, but I don't think we're talking about it all being over after tonight.
There you see Rich Fletcher for Permian. He's come all the way back from the knee surgery earlier this year. In the first half, Permian chalked up 11 first downs. El Paso Austin 5. Rushing yards 164 for Permian, 72 for El Paso. Stephen Lee was over 50, but Permian has contained him well. Passing yards, El Paso 25, Permian only 12. Very low passing yardage tonight. Most of Permian's yards have been on the ground. Total yards, Permian 176, El Paso 97. Each team has lost one fumble. And Permian is on top in the big story, the scoreboard. The score is 14-0. And again, if the Panthers hang on tonight and win this game, they will be at home for the regional playoffs next Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock against the winner of Denton and Grand Prairie. Permian will kick off to start the second half. Sedan will kick, and Gray is deep. It is a high end-over-end kick, taken by Stephen Lee at the 5-10, down right there, and again, El Paso is pinned deep. First man on the stop for Permian was Harvey Hernandez.
Boy, Harvey really did a good job as he was kind of caught at the bottom of the pack and still made that tackle. As there you see Lee getting that football deep at about the 1-yard line by the time he backed up to get his momentum started the right way. And there comes Harvey with that big hit, 2 men on him, but he still got him down there at the 10-yard line.
We'll set the offensive starters for El Paso after this play. Backs are in the deuce. Keep your eye on Stephen Lee. Now that's him, and there he goes. The gain is only 1. Troy Baker was there for Permian, so was Jerry LeClaire. The Austin offense, the quarterback Mike Beltran. The fullback is Carl Gray. The tailback is the leading rusher in Class 5A in the state, Stephen Lee. The flanker, Herb Anderson. Split end, Gus Haynes. Tight end, Frank Velez. Tackles are Santos Bertanius and John Ingram. Guards, John Clark, Eddie Robledo. The center is Dan Salas. On second down and long, coming through for the first time tonight, is Carlos Brisbane, the backup fullback, has a gain of about 5. It is third down about 3. The Permian defense, the ends, Troy Baker, Jerry LeClaire. The tackles, Jesse Spruill, Luis Salcedo. Middle linebacker, Danny Cervants. The outside linebackers, Mark Gladson, Kenny Harrison. The corners are Billy Jones and Robert Williams. The safety is Darren Allman. The rover is Blake Badd. It is third down 3, El Paso. Again, Brisbane, and he is shy. Danny Cervants was there, so was Jerry LeClaire. It looks like Permian has held. The Panthers will get the football in very good field position again. Interesting change for El Paso. They come back in the second half with Carlos Brisbane in the backfield, replacing Gray. The fullback, Gray, had a big game last week, over 130 yards. Anderson will stand near midfield. Avila will kick. And again, they boot the ball away from Anderson. Smart move. It will take a Permian bounce and be blown dead right at about the 49-yard line. And here comes the Panther offense again. So, Kurt, on the first possession in the second half, Permian is held again.
Yeah, and it's important for the defense to get that early start here in the third quarter, which they did very effectively. We saw El Paso keeping it on the ground the entire series and not having any success whatsoever. We talked about the fact that El Paso is not a passing team. Well, their passing worked pretty well for them in the first half as compared with how they've done earlier on in the season, as they did get the 25 yards passing with the 2 for 3 and or 3 for 7, that is. Now we look for Permian on offense.
First down 10, play action. Jason Harrington goes for it all, and the pass is almost intercepted by Stephen Lee. He had Greg Anderson covered well. In fact, Greg attracted double coverage. The pass was underthrown. It's incomplete. Second down 10. Here's the Permian offense. The quarterback, Jason Harrington. The fullback, Marcus Lott, as you watch the replay. The tailback, Patrick Wilson. The flanker, Brian Lauderback. The split end, Greg Anderson. The tight end, Nolan Watson. That pass was underthrown, but Lee had good coverage. The tackles, Greg DeMarco, Mike Yandrich. The guards are Scott Russell and Steve Hill. The center is Roy Wooten. It is second down 10 Panthers on their own 49. Mark Sider in at the fullback spot. Patrick Wilson runs right, has some room. 50, 45-40, 35-30, 25-20, 15-10, knocked out of bounds right there. A gain of almost 30 yards. Another first down for Permian. And that play tonight, the quick trap with Patrick Wilson running right, has been Permian's best play this evening.
41-yard pickup for Patrick as he got in the open field once again, something they were not able to do with him last week. But now we see Patrick just turning the corner so well, and there looks like the entire defense against him as he gets it to the 20-yard line. Lee, the man that finally pushed him out. Second time that Lee has made a touchdown-saving tackle. The last time he did that, though, it didn't take long before it was in the end zone. With touchdown number 2, we're looking for 3 now.
Pitch back, Patrick Wilson almost fumbled the ball, turns the corner, touchdown. That will not just be Patrick Wilson's second touchdown of the night. It will put him over 100 yards for the first time in his career. Kurt?
It did take Patrick a while to get a hold of the football, but once he did, he tucked it under the right arm, diving into the end zone for that third TD of the night. And again, the scoring drives tonight have been very, very short for Permian. There's another one. It didn't take them long, but it did effectively get more points on the board.
Sedan's extra point is good. Permian has struck quickly in quarter number 3. 9 minutes, 43 seconds left to play. Third quarter, Sun Bowl in El Paso. Our score, Permian 21, El Paso, Austin nothing. This is a Minicam 7 Sports Special.
Crisis facing America's aging veterans.
So here we see touchdown number 3. You watch Patrick Wilson finally getting a handle on it. Then once he does, turns that corner and goes on into the end zone. And Patrick Wilson has really had a good football game tonight, Bob. He's made some nice big gains, setting up the last touchdown run with that 37-yard scamper down to the 3-yard line. Sider took it in that time. And Wilson's second TD of the night.
Patrick took that drive himself for 51 yards. There was no time to set the El Paso Austin defense for you. Steve Hill's kick flies out of the end zone. El Paso will be backed up deep tonight. Again on their own 20. They've started most of their drives deep in their own territory. Permian plays a field position game. It is 21-0 now with 9:43 left to play, and as we often do regarding Permian's opponents, we bring up the question, will they change their game plan offensively once they fall far behind?
Well, there's not too many options available to El Paso. We talked about the one dimension with Lee, and it's really hard to see him going away from that too much.
Kurt called it. There's Stephen Lee. He gains a couple of yards. Again, Permian contains. The tackle was made by Mark Gladson, the linebacker. Mark is just a junior and has really come on this year. He's had a real good season.
Really has. Another big play right there. I talked about a short scoring drive time-wise for Permian. It took about 20 seconds for them to take it that 49 yards, and that's making pretty good use of a short amount of time.
The gain for Lee was 1 yard. Officially on the Permian drive, 3 plays, 51 yards. Patrick Wilson had the big ones. This is the fullback, Brisbane. His gain is about 4 or 5. He has started the second half in replace of Gray.
Here you see Brisbane getting the football going in that initial hole in the right side, but that hole closes quickly. Really not that quickness to get through it before the defense has time to react, play off of their blocks, and come back and make the tackle.
Austin is faced with 3rd down and about 2. They need a couple of yards desperately here. Watch for Stephen Lee. Here he comes. And it looks like he has the first down. Lee needed to make the 30-yard line. It is very close, but I believe he has the first down. He does. The ball is sitting on the 30. Danny Cervance at least says he does. Now I wonder why they call for a measurement here, because they realize the ball went into the end zone on the kick. It began the series on the 20. If they make the 30, it's a first down. Either they do or don't. No use bringing the chains out.
The only reason they would is if they think the Sun Bowl's not marked correctly, and I think it is. So they agree and go ahead without the measurement. It is a first down.
Look where that ball is spotted. I mean, he barely made it. He got a good spot, I guess. First down 10. Austin has their first down in a while. Here comes the wing back around. Nice hole, gain of about 8 with the ball is Gene Barkley. His first appearance tonight. Darren Allman on the stop.
Little misdirection that time. That's one thing we saw last week that Paladero used effectively. And this time El Paso does so for about 9 yards on a pickup, but still not the big gainer that they were looking for. They need to break a big one right now and try to get back in the ball game.
7:45 left, 3rd quarter, 21-0. Mojo in command tonight from the Sun Bowl. Here comes the same play. The wingback coming through, and again, he gains about 7 yards. They ran the play twice in a row. This time it was Herb Anderson.
Well, I guess you just try it until they stop you. That's one theory at least, and so far it's worked effectively. Another first down. But still, they keep it on the ground, Bob. They're 21 points down. We're midway through the second or the 3rd quarter, 7.5 minutes to go officially. And really, they need to start getting a little more yardage quicker.
First down 10 on the 45. They run the ball with Brisbane. He breaks 3 tackles. He's in the clear. Inside Permian territory, way down at the Panther 33. The gain there is over 25 yards.
Well, I said that's what they have to do. I didn't mean they had to do it. I was just trying to, help them out and show them their football theories a little bit. You really see a nice individual effort by Brisbane as he breaks 1 tackle, splits 2 men. Looks like he's going down, but he's not. He's still on his feet and finally brought down from behind. Good individual effort has given El Paso a little bit of hope.
Just outside the Permian 30. They look for the quick pass. Quarterback scrambles, breaks 2 tackles, and finally goes down, but first gains 5 yards. Beltran showed some nice moves. Danny Cervance on the stop. Also there was Billy Jones, but not before. El Paso gains about 5, brings up 2nd down 5, 21-0 Permian, 6:30 left to play, 3rd quarter. This is the second time tonight El Paso has drove the football. They drove deep into Permian territory just before the first half, but that drive fizzled. This one remains alive. 2nd down 6. Up the middle, Brisbane. A gain of just a couple. This will set up 3rd down short. One thing for sure, Permian is ever so aware of Stephen Lee. So anytime he does not get the football, somebody else may have some clear sailing.
Yeah, and it also looks like anytime you get inside, let's say the 30-yard line, you push a magic button on the Panther defense. That's the point where they really start to play just that extra bit tougher and hold them out. At least that's what they've done so far against El Paso. Stiffening up, they have another chance to do it here on 3rd and 3.
Backs in the wing tee. El Paso obviously in 4-down territory. Pitch back, Brisbane again, not Lee. He spins, and he is very close, and I believe he has another El Paso first down. He needed to reach the Permian 28, and it looks like he does. He does. First down, El Paso. And their fans roar. Boy, a lot of folks have come out tonight from El Paso.
That extra spin gave him about 2 yards that time. If he had just gone straight down, he probably would not have picked up the first down. But you're right, Bob, when you can free up someone else because you key on one man, it does give you that added option, and Brisbane has really taken the ball and run with it here in the second half.
First down 10, Brisbane again. Inside the 20, another gain of 5, brings up second down 5. So El Paso is moving the football on the ground very well without using Stephen Lee. He is the decoy here in the second half. Brisbane, who did not play the first half, has done the bulk of the ball carrying. We mentioned the crowd, Kurt. I would guess across the way, perhaps, more than 10, less than 15,000.
Yeah, good representation, and they're really trying to cheer on El Paso now.
Second down about 5. This time Stephen Lee, 20, 15, 10. Stephen Lee is inside the 5. Down at the 4. Loose football. I believe the play was blown dead. Permian says they have it. No, the officials say the play was blown dead. The ball was recovered by Jerry LeClaire, but El Paso Austin is knocking on the door.
Okay, let's watch it again. Lee fakes that reverse. Now he comes up inside, carrying that ball loosely. Let's see exactly when that ball comes out of there. He's hit. The ball comes from the pile as he goes down. The official said he hit the ground, then fumbled the ball. Really hard to tell from that angle, but the call will give El Paso the football first and goal.
First down goal. El Paso, Brisbane, up the middle for just about 1. The Permian defense answers right there. Greg Anderson in at the goal line defensive spot. Also on the stop for Permian, the big defensive end, Troy Baker. Danny Cervance was there. Clock winding down. Inside 4 minutes left to play third quarter. 21-0 Permian.
And remember the last 5 games against El Paso teams for Permian, and El Paso team has not scored against them. So El Paso now trying to break a little bit of a streak, break the shutout, put some points on the board.
Second down goal. Stephen Lee. Fumble.
That string is intact.
Permian. They bend, they do not break. Three Panthers were there. I believe it was Armando Alvarado. Greg Anderson was also there.
Well, Lee paid the price that time as he just carried that ball. He has carried it loosely, Bobby, when he reaches the open field, and then even in traffic right there, knocked out of his grasp. That's the time you just cannot fumble the football, but El Paso did it. And, it's not surprising. It's fun to watch this Permian team with the big plays.
First down 10, Marcus Lott. Nice gain outside the 5. Permian needs some room right here. Up to about the 6. The gain will be about 4 and bring up second down 6 as we near the 3-minute mark of the third quarter. That may have been the final coffin in the El Paso attack tonight, but make no mistake, they drove the football down the field with their running game.
You think it has something to do with the history of it all? As we were talking, an El Paso team has not scored for so long, and that Mojo defense may just be saying they're not going to break that record against me. They toughen up at the right time.
Permian really in their goal line offense, just looking for some room. And here comes Patrick Wilson. He's out near the 20. That will be another first down. Patrick Wilson is running very well tonight. And again, Permian's best play this evening has been Patrick Wilson coming out toward the right side. Watch it again.
Patrick Wilson, he had 58 yards in the first half, and he's definitely added a lot more here in the second half of play, getting up close to that 100-yard mark as he gets to the boundary and then goes down the right side, pushed out. Patrick has really had himself quite a ball game this evening.
Unofficially, 117 yards for Patrick Wilson. This is Marcus Lott, tries the left side. He's across the 25, out near the 30. Nice gain on first down for Marcus of about 6. Brings up second down and 4. And again, Permian's offensive line, never very big, but always very tough. They deserve much credit tonight for the holes they've opened. Greg DeMarco, Mike Yandrich at the tackles, Scotty Russell, Steve Hill at the guards, Roy Wooten the center, and Nolan Watson the tight end have done another bang-up job tonight. It is second down and 4. Harrington will throw. Greg Anderson, he eludes one and is brought down just outside the 30-yard line. A gain is very short, and Permian will be facing third down and about 1.
It's hard to teach moves like that. You know, there wasn't a big gain on that play, Bob, but still, catching that football, making that spin to get just the yardage that he could out of it. Greg Anderson really is a fun player to watch. Sets up a 3rd and 2 right now. And Permian would like to just run that football on down the field and eat some of that clock up and get more points on the board.
Less than 2 minutes left, third quarter. Marcus Lott, third down short, butts heads up near the 35 and has the first down. Nice effort by Marcus Lott. Permian has the first down. It looks like they will keep the football into the fourth quarter. Kurt was mentioning about Greg Anderson. Guess what Mr. Anderson says one of his favorite hobbies is? Sleeping. He does little of it on the field.
That's not a bad hobby, though, so he's got to rest up for these big games.
I'll bet he does it well. First down 10 for the Panthers. Watson in motion. Lines up tight side right. Harrington, pitch back, Patrick Wilson fumbles the ball, then picks it up and has a couple of yards for the game. That was the same play that Permian scored the touchdown on. Wilson bobbled the ball on the TD run, did not fumble it. Here he fumbled the ball, picked it back up.
I don't know if that's exactly the play that they designed to bounce it up that way. It's not easy to bounce the football that way. Patrick now has rushed 9 times unofficially for 124 yards. Leading the way tonight. Really getting some good production out of that fullback position as they alternate players in and out of there, but each one is doing well.
Less than 1 minute left, third quarter play action. Jason Harrington. Greg Anderson leaps and catches it. He breaks the tackle. He's inside the 50 into El Paso territory. Another Permian first down and another super play by Greg Anderson.
Well, the El Paso man did everything he could that time on Greg Anderson, but still, Anderson not only comes down with the football, but breaks away to gain a few more yards after he catches it. You see the pass from Harrington. Anderson high in the air to get it. El Paso man right on him, but he breaks away from that and then gains about 4 or 5 more yards, 4 yards, and is finally brought down.
First down 10 Permian. Play action. Harrington will go for it all, and the pass is incomplete. Brian Lauterbach was the intended receiver. Stephen Lee made the nice defensive play. Permian was going for the kill on first down 10.
Yeah, I think Brian needed about 2 more yards on that football, so he didn't have to turn around for it, and that kind of cost him a little bit. As you see, Harrington provided with the time. There's that nice block to enable Harrington to get the football away, and just a little underthrown as Brian had to turn back and wait for that ball and couldn't get it over his head.
Brian caught a big touchdown pass last week against Caladuro. He's been hurt much of the year, but Stephen Lee had very good defensive coverage on that play. This may be the last play of quarter number 3. It will be. Marcus Lott inside the 40, down near the 35, a gain of 15, another Panther first down, and that will close the books, it looks like, on the third quarter. It is all Permian as we get set for the final 12 minutes, unless the Panthers can get a snap off in the next 10 seconds. Clock is winding down at 13, and I doubt that we will. We will not. Permian will let the clock wind down. They are 12 minutes away from a berth in next week's regional final at Ratliff Stadium, folks. Round number 3. Our score through 3 at the Sun Bowl. Permian 21, El Paso Austin nothing. This is a Minicam 7 Sports Special.
Benny Bierman, one of Channel 7.
This is the Sun Bowl. It's fourth quarter action. Permian digs in and tries to hang on for a berth in next week's regional. First down 10 Panthers, just outside the El Paso 35. Patrick Wilson runs right again. This has been successful all night. Inside the 35, down near the 30. Gain of 6. That will put Patrick over the 130-yard mark tonight. Marcus Lott also has 77 yards tonight, and for the season, Marcus is now over the 1,000-yard mark.
So we're seeing some real good individual efforts right now to the backfield. Of course, that's provided by the men making those blocks in front of them. As you saw, another big block that time for the Panthers as Scott Russell gave him the time to get outside. And so there's men up front that are making those holes and making those lanes for those running backs to go through.
Scott Russell has made numerous big blocks tonight. Panthers on the move. Mark Sider inside the 35, inside the 30, down to about the 26. He is very close to a Panther first down. I believe he is just short. He is. It will set up third down and less than 1.
It's always good to get over that 1,000-yard barrier, Bob. As you mentioned, Marcus has done that tonight. He needed 57 yards to do it, and he's well over 1,000 right now for the season.
Permian in tight, third down and very short. Here comes Patrick Wilson, tucks the ball in. He might be gone. 10-5, touchdown Permian. What a night for Patrick Wilson. Over 150 yards and his third touchdown rushing.
Third one of the evening, and it's not many nights Patrick Wilson has had like this one as he just gets outside. Once he gets past the 20 and that one man, he sees that end zone in front of him. And Patrick says that he likes to go hunting, but I'm sure this is a lot more fun than any hunt he's ever been on, scoring 3 TDs in his playoff game against El Paso.
Sidan's extra point is no good. But right now it matters little because Permian is in complete control. 27-0, 10:48 left to play. We're going to take a timeout as you see the crowd at the Sun Bowl in El Paso. Nice crowd this evening. 10:48 left to play in the ball game. Permian leads it. Our score is 27-0. This is a Minicam 7 Sports Special. Play the point.
We've seen this show 2 times earlier tonight. The third touchdown run for Patrick Wilson. He's taken it in from 5 yards, from 10 yards, and now even more than that. A little variety for Patrick Wilson. Really had himself a ball game this evening as Permian is up now 27-0 as the Mojo flag, 7th flag over Texas, waves in what looks like another victory night for Permian.
The Permian loss of Woody Bryant, their starting halfback, is certainly felt and will be in the weeks ahead. But make no mistake, Patrick Wilson has stepped in and played very well. A lot of pressure was on that young man, just a junior last week. He performed well. And tonight, over 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. Permian finds the players. Hill's kick is taken by Lee on his own 10. Out to the 20, watch out, 25-30, 35-40. If Permian has had one problem tonight, their kickoff return team has given up some yards, but let's face it, Stephen Lee is very, very talented, and also, let's face it, you'd like to have your kickoff return team on the field as many times as possible. That means you're scoring some points.
And here he gets the football about the 12-yard line, goes all the way across the field to find some running room, just evades a tackle right there as he'll go to the boundary once again and head up. Finally pushed out of bounds by Nolan Watson.
On first down 10, pitch back. This is Herb Anderson, the wingback. He's across the 40, out near the 43 or 4. Gain of 4, brings up second down 6. Will be less than 10 minutes left to play. That last drive for Permian is something they've really not done much in recent weeks, and that is march the football the length of the field and score. 98 yards, and I don't mean that statement as a knock against Permian. It's just that in recent games, their scores have come after other teams have made turnovers, and Permian is legendary for making you pay for your mistakes. This one also, though, was after a turnover. First down 10, or second down short. This is Brisbane up the middle. Just a short gain, so now second down and medium short is third down and still shy by a long 2.
It still didn't take him long to go those 98 yards, Bob. 4 minutes and 51 seconds, 11 plays, and Wilson had the 26-yard run. So Patrick has just increased it all night long. 5, 10, then 26.
Under 10 minutes left to play. All Permian tonight. Swing back around again. This has been El Paso's best play the second half. Anderson will be close to a first down, but looks to be shy. And it's 4th and short. Well, they will measure, but I believe he is inches shy.
Clock stopped, 9 minutes and 19 seconds left to go, trailing 27-0. We talked about it early on in the game when they were behind 14-0 as to what they would do with a 4th and short, whether they would go at this stage in the football field. They are going to be shy by about 2 inches.
Now, did I say inches shy, or what did I say? Mr. Blind Bat up in the booth.
Can't tell the players, but boy, can he tell you where that football is, huh?
Well, the binoculars come in handy. Give me a telescope. 9:19 left to play. 4th and 1, down by 27.
Not many choices, is there?
My punter sits on the bench. In fact, my punter in this case is showering for the night. I cannot imagine why they would punt the rest of this game. And they won't right here. Permian looks to slam this baby shut. Now nobody's ready.
Well, for some reason the clock had started right there, Bob, as the officials had not told them to start it, but the clock did start, and now they're going to try to put some time back on it, I believe, as they come over to the near sideline. Or maybe they'll just run one dead play. We'll see what they'll do. So a little bit of a delay here at the Sun Bowl, and boy, I'll tell you, this is a beautiful facility, Bob, as we're kind of dug out of a mountain right here. If you've ever had a chance to come over here to El Paso and visit the Sun Bowl, it's just a beautiful sight.
It sure is. I'm trying to guess the crowd. Looks like about 10,000 across the way, and on Permian side, perhaps, 5,000 people.
And speaking of beautiful sights, you can see it here on Channel 7. Discover the wonderful world of people and places that make up the USA on America. It's an entertaining hour of great TV entertainment. Join Sarah Purcell and McLean Stevenson as they highlight trends in American life and cover events and interviews that are fun, interesting, and entertaining. Catch the spirit of the Permian Basin as America comes your way Monday through Friday afternoon, 4:30 on Channel 7.
4th down 1. Oh, look at the hit by Permian.
I think he handed it off to one of the Permian players, didn't he?
This game's over.
Well, you can't read a play any better than that.
Luis Salcedo, Kenny Harrison, the same duo that made the big hit last week on 3rd down 1 against Caladuro. So at the 9-minute mark, Permian takes over, leading 27-0 in El Paso territory. The Panthers have had the football 2 times in the second half. The first time, they drove 51 yards for a touchdown. The second time, they drove 98 yards for a touchdown.
You mentioned Salcedo. He's a horseback rider, and he was trying to get on one of the El Paso players right then and get him to the ground.
1st down 10, Permian. Harrington runs the football. This is Marcus Lott. He breaks 2, breaks 3. Clear down inside the 30-yard line of El Paso. A gain of 20 more yards for Permian. Marcus tacks on the yardage.
Well, that was a pretty run. You know, that's just not the kind of thing you teach. Just a good instinctive runner is Marcus Lott. And you can see this play develop. It just seemed almost like slow motion. As you see Marcus come out to the left side right now, there's a blocker in front of him. He's waiting to make that one block. It's developing a little slower than he wants, so he just cuts back up inside and then makes a nice gain as he broke some more blocks and took it on down.
1st down 10, Lauterbach goes in motion, and Bryan will get the football. 30, 25, hit right at about the 20, breaking tackles. Bryan Lauterbach is all the way down inside the 15. What a great effort by Bryan Lauterbach.
Well, Bryan was hit very hard that first time, in fact, almost hard enough to lose the football, but he got possession of it and then gained another 5 yards. Bryan lists cars and football as his hobbies and plans to go to law school after graduation. But law school's not on his mind right now. Butting heads and gaining yards on a football field is what he's thinking of, as he made a nice gain after being hit very hard.
A lawyer, huh?
Man on your side.
Harrington looks, has a receiver. Marcus Lott, touchdown, Permian. It is 33-0. 15-yard touchdown pass, Jason Harrington to Marcus Lott.
Harrington's 17th touchdown pass of the season. Tacks more points onto the board. Here comes the extra point attempt.
Sedan missed last time. Has a good hold and misses a second time. But at this stage, it matters very little for Permian. Sedan, of course, is doing the booting with Woody Bryant's injury. Bryant plays halfback and does the kicking. Sedan has missed a couple, but counting last week and this week, he has knocked through 6 extra points. 8:16 left to play in the ball game, and it is all Permian. Kurt?
Jason Harrington with the pass. Picture perfect, right on the money. Had to look a little bit over his shoulder, but led him well, and Marcus able to just catch that ball and take it on into the end zone. So the Panthers have not gone to the pass a lot tonight, Bob, but when they have, they've used it effectively, and they used it at that time to put more points on the board. This is a little bit more of what we expected. You know, after the first quarter we were tied, neither team put any points on the board, and as it stands right now, as the Pep squad watches on, and I don't know if they're jumping up and down to celebrate or jumping up and down to keep warm. It is a little chilly down there in the Sun Bowl. But since that first scoreless quarter, it has been Permian scoring 33 points, and that 0 still on the board for El Paso.
It's about time to circle next Saturday on your calendar and make plans to be at Ratliff Stadium. Let's pack the joint. As Permian shoots for a berth in the state quarterfinals. Hill's kickoff is taken by Lee, and again, the kickoff return team for El Paso has been their best weapon tonight. Lee steps out of bounds on about their own 41-yard line, and I'm sure it is frustrating for Permian's kickoff defensive team, but you have to give El Paso credit. They have some flat-out speed runners, and Lee is tough returning that football, much like Greg Anderson is.
Yeah, we've seen that as he catches the football here at about the 18-yard line, cuts up to the middle, and then finds room outside as the middle is clogged up. So he turns it on now as he gets to the 30-yard line and just some good speed. When they run it from scrimmage, Lee does not have as much time to see the defense in front of him because the defense is right there. But on the kickoff, a little bit added time to use that running speed.
Looks like Permian's kickoff team is almost over-penetrating. No over-penetrating there. Brisbane goes nowhere, 2nd down 10. Permian is all over the field. Ray Brown in made the tackle on that play, getting some action as we're at the 7:47 mark. And a nice Permian crowd has made this trip tonight. Wherever the Panthers go, a lot of fans in black. Stephen Lee, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Billy Jones.
Boy, Billy Jones just read that perfectly. You watch Lee get the football. Jones plays off a block, stays on his feet, goes outside to catch Lee around the ankles and bring him down. Good open field tackle and good individual effort there by Billy Jones. Lee has carried the ball 20 times tonight for 80 yards.
4 yards a carry for the man who is averaging, I believe, almost 10 yards a carry on the season. Permian has cut him in half. Brian Burkhart into the ball game now, getting some action for Permian. On 3rd down long, El Paso will throw, and the pass is incomplete. The intended receiver was Frank Velez. And now it's 4th down long, and I sent the El Paso punter into the shower a while back, but 4th and 15 inside your own territory, down by 33. If you go and make it, you're not going to win. You might as well punt the football.
Yeah, I think he's coming out wet right now. He's going to come back onto the football field and get this kick underway. The last scoring drive for Permian, 3 plays, 54 seconds. They've taken advantage of the football, or the 2 times they've had it, they've taken advantage in the second half and taken it on into the end zone. So now Permian having everything going their way offensively and defensively.
Martinez will kick, and you know who stands deep. And he's got a chance. Here we go. 20, 25, 30. Anderson out of bounds at the far side, up near about the 33-yard line. He returned that kick almost 15 yards when it looked like there was nothing there.
The Permian drives in the second half. They've had their first one for 51 yards, the second one 98 yards, then for 49 yards. They'll get the football here at the 33-yard line as they start this fourth series. As you watch, Greg Anderson goes a long way laterally and still picks up some nice yardage of about 10 or 11 yards as he's finally forced out of bounds. Boy, he's a dangerous runner.
Very special thanks tonight to our statistician, Barry Sykes. Just a super job keeping you informed as to all the numerical information this evening. Rich Fletcher is in at quarterback for Permian. Pitch back. Running with the football for the first time for the Panthers. Well, number 34 is Kenny Harrison, the linebacker, and this is a backup number 34 who is not on our roster. And it is not Kenny Harrison. I believe it is Kerman Stantz.
Whoever it was, he didn't want to go down. Watch him get the football. They string it out to the left side. He breaks the one tackle. 2 men are after him. And he's going to stiff arm him and try to gain more yardage, which he does. Stays on his feet, gets around the one man. If we'd been on a Canadian football field, he would have had more yardage, but he wasn't, went out of bounds.
Boy, it's great to see Rich Fletcher in there at quarterback. Again, here comes our mystery man. We believe it is Kerman Stantz, and look at him go.
He's a hurdler. Gets that football, now goes to the right side. Tried to left the first time, now goes to the right. Hurdled over some players. Let's watch him now. There's a hurdle in front of him, goes up over him, gets behind that block, which enables him to go outside. And then Lee, with a little bit of help on the outside there from Frank Velez, finally brings him down.
It is Sean Crow. Our mystery man, number 34, has made 2 nice runs. Sean is just a sophomore. Not many sophomores play at Permian. This is Mark Sider. Breaks 2, breaks 3, still fighting, up near the 50. As good of a 4-yard gain as you'll see as Permian winds down the clock. So, Sean Crow getting some action. Number 34, not on our roster, and I know it's not Kenny Harrison.